Marbles are good.
I just confirmed. Mines are buildable on sea. And yet they're still called landmines. That's amazing. So, stream just went offline. Are you testing something?
She said, don't you worry if I disappear. I told her I'm not really looking for another mistake. I called an old friend thinking that the trouble would wait, but then I jumped right in.
Okay, so the tournament section of this is really only going to be talking about the last Clan Wars because there's nothing else scheduled. And that is just,
I think
just going to be 4 games.
Spend some time on better balance anyway, because we don't have a whole lot to cover this time. The PT did come out, so we can talk about radar changes, but this PT is nothing huge like the last one was.
Yeah, and I think some of it, like the mine is kind of a reflection.
But it is quite big. You've seen how big the changelog for PT is?
The radar changes.
It's mostly bug fixes and the radar changes.
Some of those bug
There's
fixes.
not a whole lot of other balance changes. Ground combat will be mostly the same. The Umbrella has received a buff in the anchor there, which will be great for those multi-planet games, but not exactly great, because now it's even harder to crack a turtle with SXXs, so you're forced to use nukes.
I guess I don't really know too much about the current orbital meta.
Oh, I actually missed that. The SXFs, it got nerfed actually.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about the Umbrella buff. SXX fire rate is now half.
Yeah.
On my hotel door, I don't even know if she knows what for. She was crying on my shoulder. I already told you, trust and respect is what we do this for. I never intended to be next, but you didn't need to take him to bed, that's all. And I never saw him as a threat until you disappeared with him to have sex, of course.
Based Skype, based Twitch, based everything, please. Please.
There we go. Alright, well, hello everybody. Welcome to the second episode of the Pendulum of War. Of course, as always, Matt, I am Ghost. At the right above me, we have Burnt Custard. On my right, probably your right, hopefully, we have Captain Conundrum. And at the very top, in the corner, we have Stewart98. Why don't you guys just give a quick little introduction of who you guys are?
Who first?
Conundrum.
Okay. Yeah, I missed the stream last time. I had no voice. I'm Captain Conundrum. I'm from America, and here representing ExodusEsports.com. I'm a fairly highly ranked 1v1 player, but not as good as Custard. I don't know what else to say.
Custard.
I'm Burnt Custard. I'm not American. I'm slightly better at PA than Captain Conundrum. That's about it, really.
And Stewart.
Okay, hello everyone, I am Stewart98. I live in America. I'm an active mod developer. I'm decent. I used to be fairly good at 1v1s, but haven't been playing a whole lot of them lately. Currently I'm ranked silver, although that's mainly through derping around on LODS streams.
And of course, I'm Ghost. I used to be low Uber, then I forced myself into silver, so I can actually earn my rank, so I'm somewhere around like the 100 silvers, somewhere around there. Alright, so I guess the first thing that we really need to get onto is the biggest change that's come up with, and that would be the PTE going live and Naval just becoming something. I know that the meta's actually become, from what I've seen, at least in the few naval maps that I have played, it's become more of a Narwhal and Barracuda kind of mix. So you've got that really strong anti-air, and then you have those subs that just absolutely wreck everything. Then, of course, notifications going crazy. What do you guys think?
Subs, yay!
Yeah, I think Naval is actually really fun now, and it's been slowly getting better for a while since the first Naval update, but it's nice. I think the Orca's a bit weak, but they'll work on it.
Narwhal seems a bit OP and the subs seem a little underpowered.
Yeah, the
Also-
Naval can do so much now because it has the torpedo launcher and like the anti-ship gun and the anti-air.
I feel like the Orca should probably be the thing that has the torpedo launcher.
The Orca is the. I'm sorry. I know what they look like, but I don't know what the actual ship names are sometimes because all I know is the Barracuda is the sub. I think the Narwhal is the anti-air. Yes.
Yeah, and the Orca
Orca's
is the destroyer.
Okay, so yeah. So then you were saying mixing what with what?
So right now, I think mainly people end up mixing Narwhals and Barracudas. Narwhal for strong anti-air, for some surface attack, and then the Barracudas are nice at taking out ships, but they're very squishy. But Orcas do get used, it just ends up being very situational. Like if you need to bombard something on land, Custer and I were just playing sort of a prep game just to get used to PTE before this started. He was making good use of a small number of Orcas, but it's not the bulk of your force right now.
Yeah.
Ghost might be silent.
Am I silent?
No, I hear.
Well, pro alerts, I do.
I mean, it doesn't look like that in the stream. I don't know. Wait, can you guys hear me?
We don't really need you to talk anyway.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Yeah, they're just. Excuse me.
We all good now?
I mean, am I quiet or something? I mean, there's always at least one thing that goes wrong, so at least if it's just my audio, I'd rather have that. Anybody? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, we can hear you. I just don't know about the stream.
Yeah, they don't matter.
Wait, can the stream hear me?
I don't know. Someone in the stream earlier said that you were silent, but it made it just mean you were too quiet.
Yeah, that was. I had my. I had
Should we have Ghost's main channel open?
I'm hosting the Pendulum, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I'm watching you, but I don't have the volume on because that would just be really hard to
Oh,
follow.
that'd be crazy. All right. Let me find. Goodness, I was actually trying to post a thread that we were actually live, but who needs that? Who needs that, right? So then, post the bye week, as you guys can see on. Oh goodness, I have to look at the OBS. I have no idea which looks like what. Yeah, so immediately on my left, your right, we have the very first that Custard, of course, posted and then wanted to bring up for Planetary Annihilation. So why don't you give us a quick little overview of what the requested higher quality commander's textures is?
I want to see if I'm pointing in the right place, but I'm not going to know for 30 seconds.
Other side, other way. That way, yeah. That way.
Well, you can see here that I thought the commanders looked very fuzzy, and it might not be obvious in the stream, but if you go to the actual thread, which somebody should link in chat, I'm not going to do it because I'm busy waving.
I got you.
You can see that the commander's a bit fuzzy, and I just bought that one, so I was a bit disappointed.
What is the name of this one? I just call it the Knight. I don't know what he really looks like.
I think it's ACL.
ACL.
Ace
Yeah.
AI or something, right? AL?
Asshole.
Something like that.
The creator of it actually does Let's Plays, and in one of them, he is in an actual suit of armor.
Yeah, like it was modelled off his suit of armor that he has, kind of. But anyway, the default commander textures are only 512 by 512 pixels, which isn't much. And so after a few people posting terrible looking pictures of commanders, I think it was B. Golis replied, yep. And he pointed out that they like their internal files are actually 2048 by 2048, and me and who was it? I should have this thread open. Me and Death by Denim were like, okay, it's actually going to be quite big, but it will probably be okay if you let us play with those giant texture files. So then, surprisingly quickly, which was really nice, Big Ellis posted a nice picture of what it would look like with the high-res commanders, and then basically put them on PAM. Like he did a mod for PA that included all the really high-resolution textures, which was awesome.
Right.
It was a little bit big for PAM, so then...
Didn't they make like an individual like set for every single commander?
Yeah, so now...
Split it up. Was it
Yeah.
Trial Q?
Yeah, Trial Queue split up into hundreds of different ones for each commander. So that way, not only do you have to download less, but when you're actually playing the game, it won't load every texture. Like, normally in PA, every single texture of every single unit has to be loaded every time you play, even if that unit hasn't been built or isn't in the game. So only having your own commander will severely reduce graphics memory usage and download size. But you can still get the giant pack with all of them in that thread. Somewhere there's a link to it.
I already posted it, it's all good.
Yeah, and if you have 2 gig of graphics memory, you can probably run it.
Just 2 gigs, just 2.
Well, most people have. Do most people have 2 gig now? It's kind of normal.
Yeah,
if you have
but
a
then they're
proper
also
graphics
spending
card.
like the other 4 trying to load PA.
I only have one,
How do
but
you
I
have
still use the
one?
mod without issues.
Goodness.
My GPU is a freaking NVIDIA GeForce 9600.
Come on,
So, yeah,
you guys.
So I would definitely recommend anyone who has a proper graphics card to download the link in that thread so you can get all the commanders in HD. But if you have a smaller graphics card, then you could just try getting the commander that you use most on PA Mod Manager, and it will.
I have all of them enabled, and I still don't suffer a performance hit.
I don't know. I just run it on normal unless I'm trying to do the casting or something, because they look really nice when you're trying to record a video. Just like that couple seconds where you need to see them, it's just really nice.
And I think casters like those who are casting King of the Planet earlier should have had the mod because when you zoom into the commanders, they're a bit blurry usually, and when you're casting,
calling
you
them
don't
out.
really need a 60 FPS. It doesn't need to be quite as smooth.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, quick jumping over the King of the Planet. When did that start? For at least Americans, because I was told that it was going to be like right as we were starting, and I wanted to push it back, plenty, so the people watching King of the Planet could watch that. Then they could come over here watch Pendulum of War. I was like, when's that happening? And then I was told it was
You
starting.
didn't really pay attention to the thread, Ghost.
This was an earlier one than a lot of events. This started, if you're on the East Coast at US, it was 10 a.m.
Yeah, it was 3 hours earlier than it normally was.
Oh, so we would have been fine. Oh, good. So just pushing this back was unnecessary. Okay, good.
Especially because Battle Bear lost so quickly on most of them.
Oh, really? What was the end result? Because, of course, I was up at 7 in the morning to watch Planetary Annihilation on a Saturday.
Yeah, so spoiler alert to everybody, I guess, but Eladia won 5-0.
Wow.
I mean, so he won the first 3, and then they played out the last 2 just to give a good show. But there were some surprises as far as there was a nice drop, at least one good fabric drop. Good use of Pelicans.
Wow,
All the maps were ladder maps, which was the first time I think we've seen that.
All right. So Stuart or Conundrum, which of you two want to bring up the next thread highlight thing? Because we've got the close to Edinburgh and then the 20-player free-for-all, which happened yesterday.
Do you have a thread, Ghost?
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Maybe I've got one prepped already.
Well, while we're on the subject of King of the Planet, we can talk about one thread that I wanted to bring to attention, which is the one that Zappis posted. He organized a live showing of King of the Planet at the University of Edinburgh, and it sounds like they had a better turnout than I was expecting. I think he said 9 people.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, they had snacks. They had a lack of scones, which was very upsetting.
Oh, see,
But-
you need the scones.
Yeah, they did have Doritos and soda. So.
There are pictures. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, there are. I think I sent you 2 of them. There's one that was the room looked really nice. set up fully. Just a long shot of it. And I don't think he posted that one in the thread, so maybe you can put that one up on the
Yeah. I got you.
Um, but yeah, I really want to see a lot more of that. It's not very difficult for a lot of people, at their university or something, to set up a live showing, just put up a few posters or something, and see who gets interested. Because, as we know, the community is not that big. It is growing, but I think more can be done to reach out to more people.
Yeah, this would be really cool to see, especially with a lot. I think PA is strong. Okay, let me try and rephrase the question. Based-wise, which side would you guys say would have more Planetary Annihilation players? Would it be EU or America, or maybe even the South Asia continents? Because
it's a lot bigger in the EU. At least on the
I think the Europeans are better
I'd
at it.
say probably
Oh.
the US.
Sorry. So what was the agreed location? Because I have no idea.
Well, Custard and I both think that among the top players, at least, it seems to be pretty solidly in Europe. It's hard to know of the total player base, just single player fans, that kind of thing, of whether or not it's more America or not. But
I tend to see more American servers hosted than EU servers, generally.
Well,
you don't think that's just because it works better on American servers?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. And
Yeah,
also
for
time zone.
Australians.
We don't talk about the Australians.
Well, yeah, they play on
Australian community
American
is
servers
actually
because
pretty big, considering that Australia is only 20 million people.
I've been watching some people stream from Taiwan recently.
Oh, really?
I
Right,
can't understand
right.
anything
Oh.
they're saying because they're speaking Chinese,
Mm-hmm.
but they use the American servers as well because even though they're quite close to Australia, the internet connection to there is awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was Hello Piggy or something. I just
Yeah.
toasted him yesterday, and yeah, it's like, wow, 55 people. I had no idea what they were saying, but it was really cool to see, just another language and other people just playing the same game. It was really cool. Yay, PA! Stuart, you were going to bring up the 20-player free-for-all on Friday, which actually happened
Yeah.
yesterday.
So, basically, back well over a year ago, back in November, there was a bug in Planetary Annihilation that allowed us to use UI mods to host some massive games. And after we hosted a 100-player game, we were basically killed it because they were killing our servers. However, back in October, when the local servers were released, October of 2014, Colin released a guide, an extension of PA Stats that allowed you to host PA Stats games.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, that was interesting. However, people didn't really do anything with it for the past couple of months. However, now basically we're bringing it back. Last Pacifist started this thread on hosting a 20-plus player FFA on Friday. Actually, what we did start late, thanks to Twitch's guide having some typos in it. But we played a 20-plus player. We played like an 18v18 team game, a 40-player FFA, and some. What else was there? It was a lot.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Great stream has gone really funky when you resized yourself.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm
not
fixing
good.
it. In the process of fixing it in the stream, I believe. Hopefully, I don't know. It looks okay over here on my side. So once it finally gets through, it should be okay.
5v5v5v5v5. So that's 6 teams of 5 on PAX Prime.
Yeah, I remember that. That
Player
was
combat.
crazy.
It was absolute chaos. It was amazing. And this is actually going to be a recurrent thing every Friday now. So just every Friday at about 2300 UTC, just show up on the Realm TeamSpeak in the PA Global Chat and prepare for some epic games.
Awesome. All right, and then I actually brought up the fleshing out the old Steam reviews by Killer Kiwi, because I had noticed that one of the biggest things that always kind of happens with PA is it always kind of gets thrown in that bad light just because of its beginning stages, and I really thought, if we could just kind of flush out the old issues, bring in the new, hopefully not as bad issues, and kind of get it into that light that it really does need and it should deserve, that it could take care of it. And I was just I thought people might want to be aware of this, that trying to get the Steam reviews and then a lot of the other reviews, especially I know I found this like a week ago or something, but as my personal player highlight was when I found like a 3-month-old IGN review about how they hated Planetary Annihilation because of the planets, and I was like, really? The one thing you're gonna knock the entire game about its 3D design is it being 3D. Good job, IGN. So for me, at least, it was bringing up, trying to get it back into that good sunlight. So then, like Conundrum was saying, we can get more people to just kind of see Planetary Annihilation and enjoy it as a group, because really that's what video games are for, creating memories with friends. So I thought that would be what I bring up.
IGN does not review games based on their quality. They review games based on if it's their type of game or not.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the 42 Wacky Racers was apparently also sometime today or something, just finding out about Prolier, so that was...
Yeah. 40...
Yeah, that was right after King of the Planet.
That was
player,
crazy.
Rainbow Racing.
I think I was about 15th in that, but then when the game ends, when the winner gets to the end, they build a turret and then everyone dies instantly.
Yeah.
There's only one winner.
There have been some really nice mini mods recently. This was, the racing one, and then we've got Guma Guma. I think that might have been discussed in the last Pendulum stream.
It was.
Was it? I don't really remember. It's been a week.
It was. We played it.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what Gandalf and the rest of the Yuri Bros are going to come up with next.
Well, hopefully it'll be something good. Of course, I believe that's all we actually have for this section. So do you, Conundrum and Custard, you guys want to get into some naval warfare?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that. We played probably a couple naval games recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shall I host?
Yeah, go ahead. I've got it open already.
Alright, so let me just quickly jump to game recording, get PA up. Alright, so then who's casting, or who's doing what and where?
Remind me, is this going to be on PTE or stable?
I believe this is stable, yes?
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, it's stable.
Were there any naval balance changes? We might as well do it on PTE to save ourselves time.
No.
I don't think there were any, especially since it was...
Other than the radar nerf, so...
Oh, that's not too... I mean, that's important, but just seeing all the new naval units and everything else would be really important for players, so... Just make sure everything... Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. It's a little funky, but alright. Just Conundrum. Stuart, are you joining us?
Yeah. Give me a second.
I believe it was only January the 29th, only just over a week ago, when the update got pushed out with the submarines and the 2/3 new commanders, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy that it's only been a week. It looks like they've been out for quite a bit longer.
When you've played like 19 games, it just kind of gets ingrained in your memory that, oh, they've been here forever. What are you talking about,
Yeah.
It's been a week? What? No.
So yeah, while we wait for this to get set up, we can talk a little about the current meta on this map. This is Mesa, and this one has one large island. I'm sure most of you know this map. One large island that both players start on, then a lot of water, a lot of metal in the water, and a few small islands scattered around in the ocean too. And with the last update, there's now, with the T1 air transports, now one of the parts of this meta has been fabric drops to one of the islands. But you can, of course, block that by sending early docks out there. So, a lot of people are sending early docks around to the islands, try to block the drop, and you end up getting like little skirmishes around the map, I think. At the same time as trying to take the easy metal in the main island.
Being hosted on stable.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, give me a second. I'll need to restart then.
And I don't know if Bird Custard has any insight that he wants to give for this map that would maybe give away a strategy so that I can win.
I'm only going to build
Mass
big-
stocks, please.
No, I'm going to try and get all 5 T2 factories this map.
Oh my goodness. What?
So
Actually,
that
one of the
could-
times we played not too long ago, I was able to take most of the ocean. I just kind of went with an eco boom, and he got stuck on the land, but turtled really hard, and I managed to get T2 air, and it worked better than I was thinking it might, but I don't know.
I think
I'm not sure if I would do the same thing again.
I think I might like just happen to jump into Custard's stream, and I was just like, oh look, he's fighting Conundrum. Oh look, he's got orbital. Oh, poor Custard.
Yeah, that
I
was a
think we
weird
both
thing.
got some orbital, but we didn't really do much with it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, I know. Just having Pelicans in Tier 1 is just absolutely fantastic, especially on Berg. Having being able to just kind of Faber drop over that giant crack is just fantastic. It just speeds so much up.
Or Inferno dropping your enemy's power.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
Berg is all about the drops. You can Inferno drop on their energy, you can Inferno drop on even just the 2 mechs in the back of their base, if you get in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I saw a match between Elodia and Element Prime, or Pride, sorry, and he just kind of took like 5 or 6 Infernos and just kind of went. It was on Forge, and he went just around the planet and then just dropped the Infernos behind. It was really really bad to watch, because the energy plants I believe have incredibly reduced health now. Yes.
Yeah, they
it's
do. Yeah.
1,000 instead of 3,000.
Yeah, reduced down to a third of what it used to be.
That, and you need
The
less of
exact
them.
amount that it used to be before it got increased by 3 times for some reason.
Wow.
Yeah, and you need less of the energy plants, so you end up having less of them, but they're
Mhm.
easier to kill. And if you lose all your energy, the game is over.
All right, so here we go. Would you guys just kind of want to explain as you guys are going, or are you going to just kind of try and keep quiet, and me and Stuart will just kind of try not to sell out the other player?
I didn't think it would matter if you gave away some stuff.
Okay, we'll try and avoid any like very important things, but I mean, you guys are actually Uber because you're supposed to, so I don't know what I can say which would accidentally tip off the other player.
My game's still like generating plans and everything, so avoid starting before the 2-minute mark, please.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I won't hit start then.
Is it just me, or did the little island sections at the very top always look like a face?
The
No.
very top? No, not really.
The face has been run over, maybe.
And the in between both spawns, and you've got the kind of the clump, and then you got the eyes. No.
No.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
To me, the big island looks a bit like a stingray.
No, sorry, not the big island. The in between the spawns on the really big island, on the what's that, east side.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're talking about, I just don't see it.
Okay, never mind.
How you doing, Stuart, with your planets?
This is what I do for the first 2 minutes while waiting for players to spawn in. I just start looking at things.
You know, the symmetric maps now always look like a Rorschach.
Okay, you're good to spawn now.
I can't decide where I should spawn now.
It's hard on this map. Because you get,
Yep.
like, such tight spots where you want to be close to the water,
I
but
changed my mind just as I clicked.
Of course.
Oh well.
GG, I would.
Alright, so here we go, guys. We have a 1v1 between Arlem, Burnt Custard, and Captain Conundrum.
Both of them are actually in the realm.
Oh, really? Sorry. Conundrum, what the
Yeah,
heck?
Captain Conundrum just doesn't wear his clan tag.
Oh.
He's a very naughty boy.
Fat.
Yeah, I haven't been very involved in the realm in a long time, but
What a rebel. Well, it's okay. Technically speaking, I am, but I actually wear different tags regardless, so...
So, fairly similar builds coming out from both of them. Well,
As you say that,
Actually-
of course, the changes already begin. It's
Well,
so
of course,
hard.
because if we're told that we have similar builds, then one of us is going to switch it up.
so you notice that Burnt Custard, I think he assisted out a couple of those early Fabbers.
I like assisting out things. Makes things faster.
Speeds it up and everything, yeah.
Whereas Conundrum proceeded to move directly onto a second bot factory.
Oh,
Here's
oh.
see. Go ahead. It's so hard. I want to cast it, but I know you're in here, and I don't want to.
Meet yourselves right now.
Actually, yeah. If you guys
Early
both mute
Docs
yourselves,
confrontation. Burnt Custard does come out ahead on that.
I didn't try to, it just sort of happened.
We'll see if he gets to do get some rating capabilities from that. Looks like he actually will. Maybe, possibly. So you'll notice that Burnt Custard went for an air factory before his second bot factory, whereas Conundrum did the opposite. So you'll notice that Burnt Custard has a Pelican out ferrying Babbers to all of the islands.
are they both muted?
Conundrum,
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to say anything, but at the same time, the strategies are so
it's fairly
important.
accepted.
Oh,
meta,
do you want me
honestly.
to? Yeah, do you want me to mute? Sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah, if you could both mute, then we can just kind of
Yeah.
talk about it. That'd be awesome.
Anyway, so you notice that Custard's
Do we need to
getting
pause?
Babbers everywhere. However, Conundrum does have Doc out. They are.
Give me one. I can't figure out how to mute Skype.
I think I'm just using Windows.
You just have to go to your settings and reduce the volume, and then change it back to what it was before later.
Yeah. I'll just
As I
use
said,
Windows.
Skype is very clunky. Okay, so
Are we good? Do we still need to pause?
because Conundrum has all these amphibious docks going everywhere, he is
Okay.
able to neutralize all the Fabber drops.
Alright, cool. So yeah, now that we're both okay, they're both muted hopefully, so yeah, we can actually cast this. I didn't want to say anything because I knew that the opening builds for both players would be absolutely incredible and or really important, as well as just the mind games, because if, you know, you or me say, oh, he's going air with his second factory,
Yeah.
or he's going double bonds, you know, that could be really important. That's why I didn't want to say anything, but it looks like Custard.
So,
Go ahead.
both of them are getting out naval factories now. Custard going for a narwhal. No, Custard already has his first Fabber out and is getting out narwhals. Two Fabbers coming out for Captain Conundrum from that naval factory. We'll see what he's going for afterward.
Quite interesting to see that both players actually went straight for that really large island section where, ironically enough, neither of them actually even tried to go for this kind of really large metal spot. It's kind of interesting to see how they both went for that sort of smaller one, and yet they almost absolutely ignored a lot of the metal on this planet, while Conundrum, actually, of course, as I say that, I see that there's quite a few metal extractors.
This one, I think the reason for that is kind of because this one has 8 metal on the island, whereas this one only has 6.
Right.
So, because Captain Conundrum sent out more docks, he did come out on top. He now has a bot factory out, and now it's going to be extremely difficult for Custard to get him off of that island. Also, docks that are still in the water cannot shoot, which is why Burnt Custard just sent out a group of 3 docks to counter this group of 5 docks from Captain Conundrum over here. And only one shot got through. None of Conundrum's docks were lost. Only one took half health, half damage.
Right. Excuse me. Of course. It looks like Conundrum has actually opted to now try and focus and take over the large island, interestingly enough. Sticking with the docks micro, he will continue to actually press Conundrum back, but if he's not careful, this bottom section, what up? You see a Fabber, yeah. Slowly getting that reclaim.
So combat Fabbers, very useful for reclaim because they use no energy, and so That's 60 metal per second as long as the combat fabber is reclaiming without any energy cost. A fun quirk, actually, not exactly fun, but if you are in a metal deficit, then reclaim will be slower, which is kind of strange.
Well, of course, it's using energy to get it back,
No,
so... I
if
mean,
you're
it makes
running
sense.
a metal deficit, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, if your energy eco is good, but you're low on metal, so you're fabbing slower because you didn't switch metal, then the combat fabber will reclaim that slower.
Alright, if we look back into the naval, it looks like Custard has actually opted for a much stronger naval factory, naval force. Interestingly enough, goodness gracious, we don't see any scuba divers out of
No sub.
Custard. No subs at all, which is quite interesting because usually they try and, I usually see, at least in the kind of lower silver areas, a lot of the players usually just go with the narwhals and then the masked barracudas, just kind of able to just overrun the opponent and not really able to kill him off. Now, I believe that they upgraded the orcas so that it is a lot tankier and can kill off the barracudas, but we're going to have to see as Conundrum does...
Orcas cannot fire on barracudas, they don't have torps.
Orcas? Yeah, they do.
No, the torpedoes were removed from orcas in the same update where they were added to the narwhals and the barracudas got them. By the way, are you running with the naval trails mod?
Naval trails? No, I haven't gotten it yet.
A pity, because I have it enabled and there's actually like a little ripple effect coming off these ships as they're moving.
Well, then we'll definitely see it next week.
I highly recommend that you get them. So the primary advantage of using orcas rather than narwhals is that orcas have a bit more HP. Also, orcas have 20 more range on their main gun than the narwhals.
Looks like a small little assault force here in the back line of Kiwi, or what the hell, Kiwi, excuse me, of Custard. I'm trying to get these names right. I might as well just start calling them by colors. It looks like Orange is actually in a bit of a pickle here. He's got a lot of purple in the small little perimeter that he's trying to set up with his docks, but I think he missed a little island section of them. Some anti-air in the back line of his base as well, but it looks like Conundrum has sort of taken over at least a good half of the map. Conundrum also trying to take over some of the island itself, actually building up a wall just to make sure that Orange can't get anywhere. Now it looks like though both players still trying to kind of get a nice little stake on this planet. Purple though, on the other hand, easily confirming and controlling this little island that was so heavily fought for in the beginning. It looks like Orange is in a little bit of a pickle here because he doesn't really have the he does have the 100% economy, but he doesn't really have that strong production equivalent that he needs.
At the same time, Custard has been coming out ahead in every single round confrontation so far in this game, like on the main island, the main continent. So his metal income is not doing too poorly. Sure, he doesn't have the 8 mechs that are on here, but he does have a lot more mechs on the main island, and he also has control of the main island, which may be more important, because it means that if he gains more control of it, he'll be able to just damage all of this that Conundrum has on that.
Looks like we do have a bit of a small assault force here going out for Custard. I really don't think he should be trying to take this fight. He's going to lose all of these docks here, and that was a quick little cleanup for Purple. Now it looks like he's going to try and do it again with another little assault force, but really I think Custard is starting to slowly take over this very large island, which will greatly give him a very strong economy. As you can see, Purple is starting to turtle up very hard on his little island.
That docks just barely missed these 2 fabbers that are sitting on walls. So that will make it so that Conundrum will have a much easier time turtling. However, look at all of this mechs that he has seeded over to Custard. That's 6 mechs that he just seeded over to Custard by setting up these walls.
Yep. A lot of space though has been lost by Purple as he tries to turtle up in his little island. I think he's trying to make sure that he has still a strong foothold while he tries to get out his tier 2. As you can see, he is slowly working on that. He's almost at 95% as he works on it. Custard just finally getting his tier 2. He's only at 36%, so we're going to see this a lot slower than him, but he is also dropping in the efficiency, as of course, yeah, he is kind of up and down right now, but I think he needs to keep that up.
Custard is raiding with some bombers right now, trying to take out whatever mechs he can. He's going to kill this air fabber over here. And it goes down, so that is going to mess up Conundrum.
But is the anti-air enough, though? We see a lot here going out for purple, and
so
oh my goodness, no, I think he might be able to
have air dominance right now, and he is running with it. He is 5
Custard
air
or Conundrum?
factories up right here, well, 4 up right now, a 5th going up, and a minute ago they were building nothing but bombers. Now they're starting to get some fibers mixed in. I think that Conundrum might be going for a snipe of some sort. You notice that Custard's commander is here, only A near it is a couple of narwhals. Shouldn't be too hard.
But does Conundrum know of this? Because right now he is going for the mass bombers, but I think that might just be to ensure that Custard doesn't have the economy that he really needs, because of course if you can take out the economy, you can easily take out the commanders, because just as long as there isn't an army to protect him, there's only a commander, and a commander versus an entire planet's worth of economy just isn't really enough. So as long as we see Conundrum keep up this really strong economy, I think Custard's going to start slipping here.
Conundrum does have T2 out now. He is pumping out Leviathans. Custard just barely got up his T2. He's getting Fabro out, and then we'll probably see some Leviathans from him afterwards. I've not really seen the Krakens used, the new T2 subs used all that much this patch. They seem kind of fragile.
I would say that if you want to use a Kraken in your tier 2 army mix, you need to have a lot of anti-air to kind of run with it, because as we can see, just out of Conundrum himself, he's got 5 factories going. Well, it looks like we've got one. So it's almost a 2-for-1. We've got 2 air factories going anti-air, or no, 3
Conundrum's now losing all of these mechs that are over here. He's going to lose his air fabber in a second, almost undoubtedly, before it finishes.
I don't know. We see a lot of anti-air though over here for Conundrum. So if he does decide to try and make the move, he will have the production for it. His economy's starting to fall just because of it. And here we go. The first, yeah, he's going to move out. I think this is going to easily get cleaned up here for Conundrum if he's careful. The dogfight has to be just right. It looks like he moved it, but he doesn't really seem to want to try and take this fight. He does force Custard away for now, but at what cost? Only all 0 actually don't even all 0 metal extractors.
So we're about to see a naval confrontation. Conundrum does have a Leviathan.
Oh my goodness, that shell shot looks beautiful though.
You have awesome projectiles installed?
Of course.
Yeah, Zix0 is absolutely amazing. He created that artillery trail, and it...
But on the other side, Conundrum... Oh, no, I think he's just trying to scout out with the planes right now. He's got the units, but I think he's just trying to figure out where Custard is, where his commander is. We see the bombers here moving out. I think he's going to try and go for the lone wolf snipe, but is there enough anti-air to protect this commander? Currently,
no, there is not. I do not think so.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. Custard does see all of these bombers very close to his base. He's got to realize that his commander's at risk now. If he isn't careful, he's gonna go after these dogs, which I don't think is the right
Conundrum
decision.
has decided that, at least for the time,
Oh goodness, but the dogs are killing everything!
To lose all of his bombers. However, very poorly microed there.
Oh no!
He does lose
Conundrum,
a
what are you
bunch of
doing?
bombers to docks when he really shouldn't have. And now the air is coming in. I think that all of these bombers are going to be cleaned up. That is a real shame. I really think that he probably should have gone for the snipe there. I'm kind of disappointed that he did not. Okay. So Conundrum is setting up a bunch of walls right here. Not Custard. Custard is setting up a bunch of walls right there. You pinged an air factory?
No, I pinged. Apparently the ships of Conundrum want to have a little bit of a dance party before they go off to battle. Apparently, you gotta have the boogie to take the beat, and it looks like we do have another naval confrontation. This Leviathan just kind of poking away, slowly trying to hit some of these. We don't see any tier 2 from Custard on that section. He is getting the Leviathans out though, and we should see, oh my goodness, that is quite the naval army. He will eventually be able to get those naval ships there to try and take out that little poking force of Conundrum. But as we can see, he's just slowly trying to work it away. Custard's clawing back. He's clawing back right now, taking these really good fights and staying ahead. He does have a very large naval army, and he needs to do something very strong with this if he wants to be careful.
I hope that he takes out these 2 torpedo launchers over here before moving forward. That will just devastate everything if he does not. You'll notice that Conundrum has 3 combat fabbers mixed in with that naval group, and 4 combat fabbers mixed in with... No, 5 combat fabbers mixed in with his next naval group. So that'll just be very effective.
Custard's also getting tier 2 on the some of his metal extractors. Very nice to see.
You will see that Custard currently is leading 360 to 240 on the economy. I'm not sure how much of that is reclaimed. There is 1 combat fabber that's reclaiming at least, because I'm seeing it jump to the 400s occasionally.
Side camera wasn't doing anything. I think this is going to be the deciding factor, though. We have a lot of Custard ships moving in. He's kind of walking into a bit of a trap here with these ships kind of spread out like this. You can see, as long as Conundrum's careful, all of his units seem to just be kind of prepping for this. We see a lot of the air off in the corner. We see a lot of the bombers just kind of waiting for his Leviathans to just kind of get in range. And once Orange sees that a lot of these units are kind of here, we're going to see, I think the trap has been sprung. All of the air units flying around trying to kill off the anti-air just so that he can do it.
Custard really needs some intel. He just doesn't have the intel, and that's really restricting his battleship's range. You notice that Conundrum's battleships
the trap
do have
is
intel.
sprung. Let's see what they can do. Okay, well, actually, never mind. It looks like Conundrum's just going to kind of let these few orcas take him out.
Kind of split his forces in 2, which was really probably not the best idea here.
Well,
You notice that neither of them has any subs. So really, orcas are going to be superior to narwhals in this situation.
Oh, but the underwater dog's getting taken out. The damage of these Leviathans, have they been upgraded so they can absorb a lot more damage, or are they normally that tanky against tier 1?
I think that their health was buffed a few patches ago.
I think it was a misclick. I want to believe that he was trying to set a trap here for Conundrum, because those tier 2 ships are just, or that entire army is really out of position. As we can see, he's taking a lot of damage here. Not just one, but 2 tier 2 factories, even a tier 2 energy plant going to go down. And if Custard's not, Custard could go for this. He might not be able to kill the commander, but he's going to get a lot of damage done. I think he just needs to try and go in for his infrastructure.
I really think that part of the reason why Conundrum lost out on those battles was because he was building Stingrays. Stingrays really not all that useful of ships here. The Leviathans are just so much better. They have more range. They have more DPS. There's really just no reason to go for them. But
there's one bomber.
Just demonstrated exactly why.
There's one bomber, and I believe he can do it. The one bomber that kills 19 ships by himself. He might even get a promotion after this. It looks like Conundrum's forces are trying to cluster up here. We see, oh, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. All of these docks trying to pull off a Hail Mary here, trying to just get something out of their lives as they get picked off by these bombers. Custard, I think he's clawing back. I'm gonna say it right now. He's definitely made his mark, and he's actually managed to get a lot of the infrastructure of Conundrum.
He's winning.
Oh goodness, yes, he's definitely winning. But the real question is, has Conundrum bled out to a point where he's not able to come back?
Oh, bomber snipe, bomber snipe, bomber snipe!
Where? Goodness. Oh goodness, I'm gonna miss it! There we go. Oh, that is a lot of bombers, but will it be enough?
Alright.
If he's not careful, he needs to get some anti-air here if he doesn't want these all to die. But the last 2 bombers do die. It's not going to be enough. He's going to live.
This is a snipe is a fail!
Well, yeah, duh. This is why I was saying we need to figure out how much anti-air he's got around here before he tries to figure out what was worth the try. We need to figure out how much anti-air was around him before we just saw all of the purple, because these rainbow trails just cover everything, and there's really nothing else that we could have seen. But it looks like Conundrum did try, but Custard just had enough anti-air and had enough production to try and keep him alive. It looks like Conundrum does GG at that
where
point.
It was really the biggest factor to that failing. It was just so lucky, the angle of attack, and Conundrum, was that, did he self-destruct?
Yeah, I surrendered. It was over at that point. I had my one shot. He had so many ships.
I honestly thought I had 2 narwhals for every orca, but I didn't, so I wasn't scared of the snipe, but I should have been.
Yeah, I mean, once you were coming in, I had no choice but to switch all my air to bombers, and actually it did better than I thought it would. I assumed you'd have flag.
You took out my radar, and when you did, I didn't realize for a while, and then like all my ships were having battleship fire on them.
Oh yeah, no. My mistake was I did a good job, I think, splitting my fleet so that you had to pick one, and my Leviathans could be shooting at you as you turn direction. But I didn't like move in. I didn't kite you properly. I stayed too far away. So when you moved straight into my main base, I had half my fleet just off in the middle of nowhere, not even able to shoot.
Yeah. Like I wasn't sure which I should go for, and then I was like, wait a minute. If I just go for your base, then you'll have to chase me.
And I kind of didn't chase you, which was my
that
mistake.
supposed to be a set trap conundrum, or was it just you were trying to split them off and then just kind of get them from the middle, or did you just happen to forget about the other side?
Well, it's not so much a trap as I thought I had more Leviathans than him, so I thought I could hit him kind of at range, and I didn't want to get in close with the narwhals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to split it up, because the Leviathans, even if I split, like I could still hit him.
Okay.
And then I was trying to force him to pick one, and then while he's going to move in toward one of mine, that one's retreating while the other one is coming in the other side. And I think it worked out okay until I stopped microing the armies.
Yeah, you just kind of saw the other one just kind of keep going. I was like, oh no, where are they going?
Yeah, it was worth a try. And then at the end, though, that snipe attempt, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't
It was
do
my
any damage.
It was my Stingray that saved me, actually. I think.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't see
Almost
that.
before they
Okay,
got
yeah.
there.
There was
So-
like one or two that were just kind of chilling there for some reason. I was like,
Yeah.
lucky day.
I mean, I had like over 30 bombers. I'm surprised. And they all managed to get at least one pass off. I just
No,
must have
the
hit
Stingray
like
got
the...
off them on the way in.
Oh, okay, alright.
So I think that's what saved me.
I was gonna say, why don't you guys just kind of both go in between how Custard, we saw you go with, I believe, 2 bot factories going into air, and then Conundrum, you went, I believe, bot factory air. What was your reason?
I went 2 bot and then air.
Oh, okay.
And for me, it's because I like getting that drop on the island.
Mhm.
But I don't try to do the drop until I've got some docks there. And we saw early in the game, he got his Faber dropped faster, but my docks got there first and were able to kill him off. And then I followed up with my drop. So I don't even try my drop until I've got docks there. So there's no need to get the air factory until third factory.
I wasn't expecting you to send docks there, so I was going for a missile defense tower and then a laser defense tower.
Oh yeah, if you send just a couple docks to each of the islands, you can pretty much block. I mean, the only real island worth putting the proxy on is the big one, but it's still worth sending the docks just for intel or whatever.
Mhm.
The other ones, but they're so cheap, you just send them out. But problem is they take so long to get there that you will not win the first drop if you try to get your docks there and then send the drop. But
Right.
it worked out for me.
Okay.
And then I also I know having played Custard on this map a couple times, I know he just does the area patrol docks later on, and I lose pretty much all of my expansion metal, but I still feel like it's worth it because all I had to do was send out like 1 air fab or 2 air fabbers, I think I did,
Right.
and I got metal income for at least a while, so there was really no cost to me doing that, and the payoff for a while was good. It just meant that partway through the game I had way more production than I needed because I lost all my income.
Custard, I was actually gonna say, because once you lost that island that you were trying to fight for, I noticed that you try to fight for the main planet. What was the reasoning behind that?
The big main island?
Where you both spawned?
Well, there's a lot of metal on there, and
Yeah. Neither of us really fought for it that hard.
Well, it was a skirmish for a little
pretty-
bit, and then Conundrum, I believe you started building walls around your base.
Yeah, there's a limit to how much metal you want to spend on that island because there's a lot of cheap metal on the main island, but if you're gonna have to really grind it out to fight for it, it's kind of just not worth it some of the time.
yeah.
Okay.
So once I lost it, it wasn't worth fighting to take it back.
At the same time, it wasn't worth me attacking the small base he had there because it would cost me so much in metal to take it out, probably. Maybe you could have gone boombots to take out the walls and stuff, but probably wasn't.
Yeah,
just
I had
would've been too
I
expensive.
don't know if it was really worth it. I mean, the only benefit at that point to taking the last base is maybe you can get some longer ranged units. Like, you would probably need T2 land or something to be able to take out my naval base. And even then, I usually make a point of making my T2 naval far enough out from the coastline that even if I lose my land, I don't really lose that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
My air fabricator.
It looks like. I was just going to say, it looks like Custard did the same thing, putting his naval factory farther out from the shore just in case.
Yeah.
So my biggest point, like, of what makes this map so fun and so hard at the same time is normally you get that T2 up, you get your Faber out, and you just put T2 max everywhere.
Right.
But on this map, there's so little in the water near where you start. You have to go T2 naval, because if you don't go T2 naval, you've lost. But the actual payoff from it takes a long time to really get going. You get the energy, like, once you get T2 up, energy is not a problem.
Right. Right.
But you've only got 4. You know, if you're doing well, you've got a little more than 4, but really mainly just the 4 metal spots until you can start to push out that you can get T2 metal on. So it's a really balanced map in that sense that you don't really snowball unless you can take map control and then get T2 air up at some point. But once you get T2 naval and T2 air, you've won.
Okay. What else is next? I think the next part would be...
Okay, so King of the Planet was a few hours ago. Conundrum.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird on King of the Planet. They both focused a lot on the land, I think.
It was also kind of weird because all of the maps were ranked. I was really surprised to see Battle Bear only choosing ranked maps.
Did you guys see on that last game when I reclaimed my air factories because I didn't have enough metal?
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's kind of funny.
I guess if you've lost air, you might as well do it.
Might as well, yeah. Gives you something.
Yeah. I was building the T2 factory at the time, so I needed more metal to build the T2 factory. So just reclaimed.
Yeah, that actually explains a lot. So at the end of the game, when I was getting ready for my snipe, I sent my docks out. So I was trying to get you to send your air force. And it worked. It managed to send your air away from your commander.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at how little air there was. That explains it.
Yeah. Well, I was also building a few too many bombers. I kind of messed up my build queues. I built slightly too many bombers, not enough fighters, and more orcas than I was expecting, but that was fine in the end because you didn't have any subs.
What would you say would be a good ratio of fighters to bombers?
It really depends on what they've got.
Most of the game seems a bit more adaptive, really.
Yeah, so normally the way I play is I default to leaving all my air factories on fighters, and then as I need bombers, I just go in, select all my air factories, and then control-click bomber just to add more bombers into it. And sometimes that means I'm adding a lot of bombers. Sometimes it means I'm not really doing that too much. It depends on whether or not I feel like I need more anti-air. But by default, I just leave it on anti-air because I feel like that's the safe way to go.
You've got a lot of mic sensitivity. It's really loud.
Mine, oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's just like, oh yeah, he's saying something important. All I just hear is just fans everywhere.
It's not that important, trust me. No, I'm not sure why there's so many fans. It's a pretty silent room.
It's all good. Alright, news. Anything, Custer, have you found anything that was actually besides the new PT that's come out and effectively made Naval like an actual thing? I want to say, at least, from what I've seen.
Well, that was Stable Build that made Naval an actual thing. It's a shame we didn't get to see the T2 subs, or even the T1 subs in that game.
Yeah, I was surprised both of you didn't go subs. I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow, neither one really went for the meta.
So I think the problem with submarines is that they are very expensive. Like, I think they're 550, which is more than a narwhal, slightly less than an orca. So if you see your enemy has pure orcas, and therefore you should build lots of submarines to take them out because they can't fire against submarines, then it takes so long for you to see that they've done that, and then switch your factories, and then like finish the thing that's currently in the factory, and then make the submarine as well. That like it's just too slow, and you can't make the switch to counter what your enemy is doing because they'll be in your base wrecking your stuff before you can even build a single submarine.
Yeah, and I also never saw your orcas in that game we just played. I saw your first fleet that went out was like pure narwhals that was trying to go sort of toward the center island, and that's what I was responding just to that. I assumed you were going to go with the narwhal, which seems to be more standard, and you do orcas or subs if you're doing something a little different. But Yeah, I don't think even later in the game I saw your orcas just because I'm focusing on shooting radar blips from a distance with Leviathans.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so let's move on to the actual news, like we were going to.
Well, I know there was the new commanders, and I was just linked to the new slammer-looking commander, the Ajax.
Ajax.
Slammer. It's
Yeah, so that
four-legged
commander
slammer.
goes to anyone who bought the game before January 2nd of 2014. So that's Kickstarter backers, anyone that was in most of the beta, early beta, everyone that was in the alpha.
So I got a commander I'll never really use. Lovely. Invictus.
I love the dude.
I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
He looks like a giant slammer to me. I'm sorry.
No, Gamma is a giant slammer.
Yeah.
Ajax is awesome.
Yeah, the Ajax is really cool.
He looks like a slammer. I'm sorry.
I think the Slammer looks cool enough too. But no, I don't see the Slammer at all. I mean, I see like giant cardboard box, but I don't see
Cardboard
Slammer.
box commander.
It's just the armor.
Well, there's also the Pogo
Actually,
commander.
that makes sense to me.
I've never
What?
seen anyone actually use him. How does he actually walk?
He rolls. It's like a
Like
wheel.
any other quad
Oh, he
commander.
rolls?
Enzo Matrix?
I don't know. He's
Yeah, I think that one rolls.
Yeah, Enzo Matrix rolls. It's strange.
So then, what happens if you just kind of like push him over and then he can't move? Like how does it's just kind of I do pull a bit of realism into all this. I mean, like four-legged commander, yeah, that makes sense. It's a little crab, it shuffles around, But that it's a wheel. It's got a one big wheel. What happens if that wheel pops? What happens?
It's a scooter.
Oh, it's a scooter. So it's really just a really, really old commander. It's a mobility scooter for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
His
Maybe
legs
he has
got blown
maybe he
off.
has a really big weight in the bottom, like one of the like the little
Yeah.
kids get a punching bag or something, and you inflate it, put sand on the bottom, and you can't knock it over.
I reckon his legs got blown off, but he could only afford to buy one more leg, so he had to kind of put it in the middle, attach a little wheel to the bottom.
Back in the Pax War, I
Yeah.
saw some things.
He's the old poor commander.
Oh, so he's better than the cardboard commander, but he just doesn't have the money for another leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason the cardboard commander has 4 legs is because he's made of cardboard, so that's really cheap.
it's really
and,
cheap.
and he can afford 4.
Yeah, Ghost, you want to play the Ajax video?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, it's the commander just kind of walking around. So I mean, it's quite interesting to see. I mean, he's sorry, he moves like every other commander. It's just the only difference between him and it's not Osiris. What's the one with the kind of like the 2 horns shooting out behind its back and then the 2
Osiris.
Osiris? There we go. Yeah. Really, it's just the only difference between Osiris and Ajax is the legs are slightly more cardboardy and he's a lot clunkier on the top. Then there's also the knight. I don't know his name. He looks like the knight. The one you were referencing to earlier. Costa.
ACL.
I used that one in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
Alright, what else? I think that just brings us up to the tournaments.
Hold on. We never really talked about the PDE, did we?
Well, the only change has been the radar change, guess.
There's loads of changes.
It's big.
Oh,
There
okay,
were
alright. Apparently I'm blind. I'm sorry, what's up?
So the radar change alone is huge.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other one that is very questionable is the mines. The mines are now impossible to see except by combat fiber.
And combat fiber range is
it's 100, right?
100. So
Yeah,
that's
so
the
they're-
same as
it's-
Ant's range.
Yeah. So you gotta like get right on top of it. So it means that you're probably going to need to be, I don't know. I mean, what does a mine cost? Is it?
20.
20?
It's 20.
Yeah.
So it's not even cost effective to run docks and do it like one at a time. Area patrol. Wow.
It might work with like boombots because boombots are really fast. So you might be able to run along, get like a few mines to explode before the boombot actually dies.
And maybe yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to, but if you
I love
area patrol
They're
boombots,
so cute.
area patrolling boombots is bad for a lot of reasons. So
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like the only way to really counter it is to scout out and
So you're
be
using
continuously
explosives to
seeing
trigger
their-
explosives.
I don't know that that's a good.
Yeah.
I think you have to be proactive. You have to send out air. I mean, we
So-
haven't really tried it, but you have to see their combat fab and know where they are.
Other
I
things that change-
just gave a link to a picture which shows the new radar range on Duat, showing that it's quite small, 400. I reckon they may have gone a little bit far with this.
I was gonna say that basically covers your entrance.
I really think that it's great because really radar was kind of OP before, and now it's still good, but it's not absolutely necessary.
I don't know.
So,
I see
yeah.
radar as really important, especially because I know whenever I happen to find Custard in ranked matches and he's going mass docs and I'm going tanks, I mean, I need that vision, because if I see, like 40 or 50 docs scurry past me to go for my metal extractors, I need to know that. Because as a tank person, your economy is really, really important to have. So there
what
needs to
this
be a
has
middle.
done is it's made it more important to have sort of proxy radars all over the place. So
And I can understand that. I mean, what was the original range?
600,
And it's now 400, correct?
yes.
Maybe, I think what they need to do is maybe go for a middleman, see how that goes with the community, see how the players think about that, because I know another thing that I was always being kind of told was the CGSs and how there's a lot of pathing issues and a lot of bugs. I think one of the things that they might want to try is maybe go for, a voting system on the front of the Uber, the actual web page or the main screen, the loading screen, because then players can, does radar need to be upped or increased or
Players
decreased?
do not know what they want, Ghost.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
gonna have to
it.
side
I
with
mean,
Stuart on that one.
well, I thought it would give some form of communication between the devs and the
Players
players.
do not know what they want.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
when you're playing with
it would be-
randoms that go tier 2 at 3 minutes, I mean, of course they don't know, but there needs to be something that the devs can pull from the masses, because really there isn't much besides.
Players do not know what they want.
I'm not so sure about the from the masses thing either. A lot of people, there's been a few instances where people have complained about things on the forums and then they've been changed and it's been bad, like the Vanguard nerf. When it went from 1,200 to 1,500 cost, and now
I
you
think that the
very
Vanguard nerf
rarely
was
see them.
kind of necessary. However, it was over nerfed. They nerfed the health, they nerfed the DPS, and they nerfed the cost all at once.
Well, I think they did everything, and then afterwards they did the cost as well. So.
So one thing that this sort of brought up that I would like to talk about is Uber's current balancing strategy, and I'm really happy with what they're doing, and I think that they are, as opposed to taking it from the masses on the main screen where you would get the kind of response you get on the Steam forum.
Sorry.
You're getting T Vinita going on Twitch and watching top players streaming, and it's sort of, okay, you think that this is OP, prove it,
Right.
and they have to prove it,
You pointed
and they
at both
prove it
of
by
them.
showing it.
Yeah.
What Tom is doing is definitely working much better than what the old balancers.
Well, I believe they're
Balance.
also using the PTE is actually a real better reference guide, because I know a lot of the higher up players just play almost solely and sometimes in the PTE just to kind of work hand in hand with the devs, because I know Tavinta and I think Killer Kiwi are almost like best buds, because I always see them when one's in my stream, there's always another one. So I think the higher up players definitely do have a good say with the developers.
Yeah, and I don't know that it's just being higher up. I think he'll take input from anyone as long as they can prove what they're trying to say by playing a serious game and really showing what it is. I don't think he's just looking for your rank and then deciding to listen to you based on that.
Alright, so let's just go back to the very top, because I know we kind of started on mines, then we went to radar, then we went to shaming me about trying to get from the masses. The mines, what do you guys think about the mines? Just yay, nay, they need to have better vision?
I think a good solution would be giving combat fabbers a radar for mines with a range of 300.
Custard, I think it's kind of obvious with the answers from you.
No. I actually did quite a long forum post about this, where I basically just suggested mines should have more health, because that way, if you see a load of mines, instead of your units just driving up to them and shooting them all before the units get close, you have to wait, and it postpones your attack. So it's more of a deterrent than a thing that just kills your units.
Right.
And in the same way, if there's enemy units nearby, and your units are shooting the mines, and the enemy units come from behind, and you're like, oh no, and all your tanks have to turn their turrets slowly around.
Right.
It's more of mines being like an added thing in combat rather than just being this hidden thing that suicides. And things that are hidden are generally annoying in RTS games. It's not what you see, it's what you get.
Right.
It's kind of painful. Although, also with the massive radar buff, you're very rarely going to see the mines on radar now. So that kind of makes them more powerful as well.
The radar can't see mines at all now.
Yeah, I thought you needed combat.
But before it was just radar. So, like, if just the radar was nerfed, then mines might be useful, but we wouldn't know because they've done both things at once. I think they should test with both things separately. Yeah.
Okay, Conundrum?
Yeah, so I'm probably usually the one to say don't overreact, don't judge the balance before you've had a chance to play it, and
Panic!
everything can be balanced.
Panic!
But no, this is broken.
Make 10 new
Quick!
threads.
Make 15 posts about how OP it is without testing it.
I don't see this working out. I mean, it can be balanced, but like Custard said, I just don't see it being fun.
It's always
because you're
annoying
just going to be a
to
grind to
have to have a unit in your unit compositions.
It's also extremely micro-intensive, especially with the combat fabbers, because they die so quickly. And if you do have to send out combat fabbers in your like tank armies, you have to make sure the combat fabber is at the back until you get somewhere where there might be mines nearby, and then it has to come up at the front. And then when there's enemy units, you have to send it back to the back again.
It's a
so
pain also.
fiddly.
Yeah,
You can't when you do a drag box select, it selects them as a group. It doesn't do them individually like it would with a fabricator and a bunch of combat units. So it's fiddly.
Yeah, I know is sometimes when I'm in ranked, I do throw some combat fabbers in my mix, and it's just they seem to. Do they have a faster movement speed than the tanks? I believe they do.
Yeah, it might be slightly faster, so they might end up going in front.
Yeah, they tend to have a funny way of walking to the front, and then you're like, you get in that big confrontation, and you're like, oh, it's okay, I've got healers. There's no, I can take an easy fight, and then they all walk in the front and get killed, and you're like, oh, good, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Darn. I haven't really seen it or tested it, so I can't really throw my 2 cents in, but from what it sounds like, I think they might want to leave it in PTE for a while to see how players are going to interact with it, because if they just throw it straight into balance or into the straight vanilla version, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of issues, especially just trying to micro. If you're going opening docks, microing 3 or 4 different groups of docks, making sure your dogs are also walking up to these mines if there are any, because you don't know. You're not going to find out till it's too late. And
yeah, you need to pay even more attention to your unit groups,
Right.
because if you don't, then when one explodes, you should move them back. But if you're not paying attention, you won't, and you'll lose everything. In that last game against in a game recently against Captain Conundrum, I lost a whole load of docks against mines, and I didn't even notice because the explosions happen so quick. I think it's similar to the boombot, or the same as the boombot explosion, which is over very quickly. It doesn't make a special sound.
Right,
It doesn't say like mines detected. They're just gone, and you don't know why or how.
Yeah, I missed that too. I actually still am not convinced that you lost them to mines, because I think all my mines
there
were
was
still
at least one group that I ran into mines.
At least one. There was like 20 that just disappeared. They were gone.
Yep.
I don't know. You were asking it, and I was like looking around. Well, I don't see any missing mines. I don't know.
All right. So then, I think it's safe to say that they need to. Would it be safe to say that they need to keep it in PT for a while just to see how players react to it? Yes.
Yeah, I think that the other things that are changed in the PT, like the radar, they're not as controversial. That would.
Well, I was gonna say we're gonna move on to the radar. I just want to have like section 1 would be mines. Would it be safe to say that they just need to leave them in PT for a while to just kind of figure it out? Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just not good. I don't know that more testing is really going to help. If they need more testing, they can. I don't think Uber really made a mistake, because PTE is there to play with, but I don't think that this is going to stay.
Alright, so now the next thing, radars. I would say that they probably need to find a middleman for this, because shrinking it down to the point where you can't even see outside your base, I mean, that's a lot of space in between you and your opponent's base that you won't know. And proxy radars would be nice, but if I have to send out 4 or 5 fabricators just to build proxy radars all over the map, it might be really expensive, especially if I'm kind of trying to like end the game quickly before they fall into a turtle stance or something.
I really think that the changes to playstyles and why people will perceive this radar change negatively can be summed up in 4 words. learn to scout. No.
Kind of. It definitely promotes scouts, which is a good thing because I think they're underused right now with the Skitter and the Firefly.
Yep.
And also it's kind of good because before radar was mandatory. You always built a radar in your base, whereas now you have the option. Like, do you want to build one in your base? Do you want to build them just in your proxy bases? Do you want to not build them at all and just use scouts? That's more viable now. So it's kind of opening up options, but I think it might be a little bit too far still.
Yeah, I
I
think
wouldn't mind them having 50 more range than they do in the PT, but I really think it's pretty good.
I think a little more would be okay, but I don't really mind this nerf. It just changes what radar's for. It used to be like you need your radar, then you can see the map as long as you have energy. And this does a couple things. It means that you can afford to stall energy a little, because losing your radar isn't going to kill you.
Right.
Because either you're not scouting and you're going to lose no matter what, or you are scouting and losing your radar won't hurt you that bad. But it also it makes it so that you can use radar to get a little more vision when you're defending, just so that like the small tactical maneuvers that happen right on your base borders, you can see a little better. But you still need to have your air out there and be looking around. And I think, if anything, this forces you to have air. It means that even on maps like Forge, you probably can't afford anymore to go without at least one air factory just to look around.
It's the combat faber mines thing that does that as well a bit, because mines are a bit more scary now, but air units can't get blown up by mines, so that encourages bombers a bit more as well.
Maybe if they added like detection vision for scouting units, that would make them a lot more valuable since the range is incredibly large.
Yes, I think if the current mine system is kept where only combat fabers can see mines, they should add scouts being able to see them as well.
Because then, yeah, that would greatly increase their value. That would make adding them to your army mixes a lot more valuable.
I keep forgetting. I really want to use skitters in as my docks, but every time I build a big army of docks, it doesn't have any skitters in.
Right. Well, skitters have larger range than docks, yes?
They have, I think, 200 vision radius compared to the docks is like 105.
So just a little bit better.
200? I think it might actually be as high as 250. I'm not sure.
Let's find out.
Well, might as well, we're live. Let's just do it live, right?
Yeah.
Fictional. Alright, so then while Custer's looking at that, what else has been added? Because obviously, I don't look at anything. Umbrella.
SXXs, they now have half the fire rate that they used to. And at the same time, umbrellas now fire 25% faster and have slightly more range. So basically, now it's extremely hard to use SXXs to crack turtles.
Yeah.
Also, anchors are now a bit worse against ground. Their laser range has been reduced by...
But they're incredibly sturdy. I mean, unless you've got the blue hawks.
And their rate of fire has been decreased very slightly.
No, the rate of fire is against orbital, and the range is against ground, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, still, at least when I'm using umbrellas, they're incredibly beefy to try and break with Avengers. It's really hard. I mean, you need at least 20 to kill one.
I was right, by the way. Doc's 105 vision radius and Skitter 200.
Good job.
So I have one thought for balancing the mines, actually, that could make it really interesting. Which would be...
Remove them!
No. It would be...
Yeah!
Make them cost 45 metal. Make them have a higher area that they damage. Make them be built a little more spaced out. So that then you can take them out by just suiciding your docks into them or something.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you group your units up and you run them in, you'll lose. It'll be a cost-effective defense. But if you just spread out and take them out, then it would end up being just an even.
Right.
And then you can leave it the way it is currently, with the combat faber being the only thing that can actually see them.
Okay.
I don't really like the idea of that, because I don't know, actually, maybe I do. I haven't decided yet. One thing I forgot about that, though, was the Vanguards having a small amount of... like, right now they had a small amount of radar, which means they could see mines. but it would have to be changed to the like magical mind-seeing layer. Because in my mind, I'm imagining like a line of like Vanguard, Inferno. I'm gonna hold my hands up high. Vanguard, Inferno, 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 Vanguard, Inferno, Inferno, Inferno. Like just slowly moving forward in a long line, taking out mines as they go.
Right.
That to me sounds like it would look awesome.
It would look cool, but I mean, in terms of like actually getting tier 2 vehicles and then actually being able to do that in between like a really interesting match, I mean, it might be a little hard.
I think that would be like late game when your enemy has like got half a planet covered in mines.
Yeah, mines might be able to force a stalemate to where T2 becomes necessary too.
That makes sense.
Although I'm not a big fan of stalemate, of like forcing T2 by locking up the game.
Well,
I like the old games
turtles
where
in general. I mean,
it just slows the game down.
Yeah.
Whereas like the best games are the ones where people are constantly moving and taking out each other's expansions at the same time.
Forcing fluidity.
Mm.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up. I really like the umbrellas. How they've kind of become a lot more sturdier, especially for orbital warfare.
I think you mean anchors. So,
Yeah, the thing in the space that shoots the lasers and the stuff. Yeah, the anchors.
with the cool new laser effects.
They are really nice. I do like a
I
lot.
can't wait to see how anchor play evolves from this patch.
Sorry.
Like in the meta.
Well, I think it's going to be very interesting, especially on what's the 1v1 match with you spawn on the lava planet, then you have the metal planet.
Sticks.
Okay, thank you. I could see having anchors actually be a viable thing in that situation, because then you can land, build the teleporter. If you have the strong enough economy, you could build an anchor over your place, and you can really just kind of fortify your little spot on the planet. I wish I had my hand over here, but so you could see me kind of moving around. But so I could see. Go ahead.
The range has been decreased quite a bit. Like 100, 120 to 100 is quite a big change. So maybe you'd have to build like 5 in a circle around your base.
Do Blue Hawks outrange them now?
No. They have a longer range, farther range. I've had to go like 10 or 11 Blue Hawks just to kill it, because their DPS is really strong enough to actually kind of hold them back.
It might actually be kind of interesting to use the armor system to make it so the Blue Hawks take a couple more shots from the anchors to go down.
Or just give Blue Hawks more health.
Yeah, I think
they only have 200 or something. It's really low already.
Well, I think that's just because their kiting ability for actual like matches. If you actually finally get to the Blue Hawks, you need to be able to murder them.
Them being made of paper is kind of a balancing factor.
Yeah,
Although
no, I think
it doesn't
make
make sense.
most teams
I guess.
Custard first, Stuart, then you can go.
I think most T2 units are too much made of paper still, because
I think just bots tier 2 is really paper thin.
it makes them even like the levelers only have. I'm gonna find out exactly. I'm not. I can't bother. Even levelers don't have that much health. So they're really micro intensive, and I think T2 shouldn't be as micro intensive. It should be a little bit easier on like, if you're not half a second late to viewing your army when it's in an attack, you don't lose half of it. The docs have just got in range and they instantly take out all your T2 units that are really expensive. I don't think they should disappear so fast. You should have some room to...
Maybe a little bit more armor to them so that they can absorb a bit more punishment before...
I was also going to say the anchor umbrella thing is really nice in one regard, and that is that now it's obvious that umbrellas outrange anchors.
Yes.
So you can like sneak up, put an umbrella on max range with the anchor, and it will actually work every time. The umbrella will kill the anchor now. Whereas before it was really dodgy, and you couldn't tell exactly if you had got it in range.
Yeah. Well, there's the actual structure line that kind of falls from the anchor, which you can find.
Yeah, but depending on the planet size and depending on
planet sizes can make it interesting.
That kind of thing. Well, no, it should be all the time now. The umbrella should always kill the anchor. Sounds good.
Okay.
There's no more guessing.
Yeah, it's really nice. Being able to actually like counter anchor creep with umbrellas is just so nice. The defense can be really good, but I also see that as like if you're on kind of being the devil's advocate, trying to aggress onto a planet could be really hard, especially if you like they've got a lot of umbrellas on a planet, then you're trying to invade a planet, and you've got like a lot of tier 1, so you're just trying to get a teleporter on the planet. It could be really hard to actually invade unless you just have to go tier 2 into unit cannons or something. And even then, I mean, the umbrellas do some serious damage against unit cannons as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think locking down a planet's always been hard, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been
Taking precedence.
hard to beat a lockdown planet. And maybe you should just play on bigger planets when you're playing orbital.
Well,
I
also,
don't know. Some of these custom maps, man, they're ridiculous.
yeah. So sometimes a player will lock down a planet, and then everyone's like, "Oh, the game sucks because you can lock down a planet." But maybe the system should have been made in mind so that that sort of thing doesn't happen, like having metal planets with the annihilator and smashable planets that only require 1 or 2 Halleys to break those stalemates.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the game's fault. It could be the systems as well.
Well, it's never the game. I mean, it's just usually the creator, not the created.
It's like making a StarCraft 2 map that heavily favors Zerg rushing and saying that StarCraft 2 is imbalanced because
We don't talk about that game here. We don't talk. No, the PA's.
I think we
We'll
need
talk
more
about
maps where docks rushing is better. And gunships.
I think we should just delete docks and just leave tanks. I think that's a good idea.
No.
I think that
No,
we all
Docs are
just
so much
need
fun.
to listen to Nosebreaker.
I was actually playing a game,
Oh.
and I think it was an even number, or no, might have been below. I was playing with just mass docks, and some crystals just happened to show up. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting because there's like Kestrels, sorry. It was like 50 docks against I think,
Gunships.
like 30 or 35 crystals. I was like, oh, just right click, gone. All of the tier 2 air gone.
Yeah.
It was amazing to see the docks just murder everything.
Docks were actually kinda OP on certain maps, I feel.
Well, which one? I mean,
No.
yeah,
I-
'cause
I-
they're
I
pretty
think-
balanced.
I think they're really well balanced right now. Like on Forge, if you think docks are OP, then you're probably playing against people who don't know how to use tanks. If you think tanks are OP, you haven't played against me.
I don't know. Just if you bunch the docks up well enough, they just become almost unstoppable. Like what Custard and Randy did in
Yeah.
some of their games during the Pro-Am tournament.
Mhm.
But like with bombers, if you target on the edge of a dock's blob, they'll almost certainly drop the bombs before the bomber gets killed. So bombers could do tons of damage against docks, and also with tanks, if you have them behind walls, they can just the docks can't do anything against that. That's the only instance like when maybe grenadiers could be useful, and it's nice to have seen those a few times recently. But I still don't think they are.
They don't have enough oomph. They just don't seem to be able to like do it for you, you know?
Yeah, I think the main
Biggest
advantage.
problem- Biggest problem.
I'll let Stuart talk about them. He likes it.
The biggest problem with Grenadiers is that they're supposed to be artillery bots, but they have a measly 5 more range than tanks. So tanks versus Grenadiers, Grenadiers have 5% more range than tanks. Yeah.
I think they're fun though. I've had a couple games where I was able to kill it was like a group of like 20 tanks with equivalent number of grenadiers, and I didn't lose a single one because I was hiding behind walls.
I think
But-
they need walls to like really dish out the damage that they need. They just don't. They can't take straight on fights. They need to have something to help protect them.
Yeah, that's fine though. They can also head behind factories or CSGs.
Well,
Right, and I think
anything can kill 20 tanks if the thing is behind walls.
Yeah, I think people are overestimating the grenadiers in that situation. I think their best use right now is to shoot over your opponent's walls. So if your enemy has walls and you have walls, it's like with a no man's land in between. Then your grenadiers can shoot over both of them on the enemy units, whereas their units are shooting your walls. So you have an advantage there. But then as soon as you go out in front of that, your grenadiers get one shot by the ants.
well, then obviously it's OP, and you need to like nerf, everything besides the grenadiers. I think it just adds a different style to the game because you either have mass tanks, you've got mass docks, or you can go grenadiers with walls or aggressive combat fabbers to kind of assist them. I think that just adds another play style to the game that it would be really nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely are a lot of fun.
It's also really nice to have a bot which is useful behind walls because all of the others aren't. Like docks have really short range.
Yeah.
Bots obviously aren't very useful behind walls. They're quite good at attacking.
All T2 bots are very useful behind walls.
Yeah, T2 bot's pretty good against them, behind them, but the T1 bot factory has nothing apart from grenadiers, so it's nice.
Mhm.
I think that having the option, that's one of the best things about the bot factory right now. I feel like it has slightly more options than the vehicle factory.
Right.
Yeah, I think the land game is actually really well balanced. I don't think that we've seen it T1 and a little bit T2. T2's got some problems, but it's really well balanced. And the naval game is getting really good.
Yep.
I think T2 air still needs some work, partly just to make it interesting.
T2
Like it
gunship
has some
buffers.
uses.
Also
They did
feel-
add the interplanetary tier 2
Yeah.
anti-air fighter.
Yeah.
However,
Yes, no,
one
no,
part is
mostly
still
no's.
better than they are, so I feel like it could be useful, but basically all it's doing is making people use both T1, use both fighters and bombers in their air factory area patrols.
I don't think the T2 fighters are that great now, and you can kind of tell by the fact that if someone goes T2 air, they probably have loads of T1 air factories making fighters because the T2 fighters aren't any better.
Right.
And it's better to use the T2 factory. They have T2 fabricators, like the T2 bombers, which I hate, and the gunships, which I love, but the T2 bombers are probably a bit better if you have air control.
Right. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I think it was more of like they were just trying to get that one meta style of just going mass bombers out of the way. But I think in killing off one way of doing things, they actually like just slightly changed it so it was a different form of virus, really.
The only
Yeah.
2 ranked maps that I would ever even consider making T2 air on are Meso, because like I was saying earlier, you've only got like the 4 to 6 metal spots that you can make your T2 mechs on. Unless you get
but then
T2.
Novels are so good right now that
Yeah, you've already won by the time you get it, because you can't go at T2 air before you go T2 naval.
Right.
Because you have to get T2 naval and you have to get it fast. And then the other one is sticks, and that's just because it's faster to
It
get
helps, yeah, it just
everything
helps
covered in
more.
T2 metal. But again, if you get to the point where you've got the T2 air, you're starting to make the T2 metal, you've really already won unless you do something stupid,
Right.
which I did recently. But I mean, it is possible to lose that map from the better position. But
the orbital fabricators that you probably have on sticks are good for getting the T2 factory up quickly as well, because they're nice and efficient.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
I think if we had more larger maps that people played on in the 1v1 ladder, then we would definitely see more T2.
That'd be good. I think that would probably be good. Anything else has been added?
Tank commanders, finally, no longer turn in place!
Actually,
Most
sorry,
people
I
won't understand what this
Someone went like supersonic. What? Someone else that speaks.
all right, I
Squeak.
can explain this one. Actually, I know a little about what happened. So the tank commanders, like the ASIN, have always been a little worse than the other commanders because they turned in place when they turn instead of walking.
Oh.
Back in about September, Stuart made a thread in the forum saying that, and I kind of thought like it just disappeared. I kind of thought the devs knew about it and just didn't care. Maybe it was intentional because they wanted it to look that way. But then recently on the Steam forum, somebody posted saying that their tank commanders always seem slower than the rest,
Right.
and Jables posted on there, they're all identical, and I had to correct him. Well, here's this thread from Stuart. They're actually not the same, and I think it was the next day they pushed the fix.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been some amazing turnarounds with them seeing bugs and then being fixed. There was one where I was playing against Zyke, I think, on the Pacific map, and my commander was shooting torpedoes, and the torpedoes were exploding as soon as they went into water, because they're only supposed to be in water. So when they did the transition, they would just explode, and that was fixed like the next day by Sorry, and it was amazing.
It's fantastic. Okay, cool. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to add?
In PTE,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes.
Unit cannon health increase, yes.
Yeah, it's gone from 3,000 to 9,000.
Yeah, so most of the T2 structures that were low on health, like the Hulkins, I think there might have been something else as well. And the
Catapult hasn't been buffed yet, but it needs
the what?
The catapult still hasn't been buffed, but it needs to.
Well, the catapult kind of sucks.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like the T2 structures that didn't have enough health are getting more health now, which I think is great. Because like they're so massive, they cost so much metal, and then like a Dox will come along and go pew pew, and it'll be dead. Or perhaps a few Dox.
Apparently the bug was caused during the changes to support subs. The more you know.
Which bug?
I think it was the one about how you were talking about the torpedoes transitioning from water to land. They would just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
good.
cool.
Thank you, sir.
Any last comments or actually tournament info? Totally forgot about that. Sorry, Conundrum.
That's fine. No, we've only got one tournament scheduled right now that I know of. And that is the final Clan Wars fixture on February 21st at 1300
you actually got to
UTC.
the end.
Yeah. So, as far as I know, Realm has already won. They played in the last fixture. They ended up getting to a point where none of the other teams that are about to be playing can get as many points as them.
Oh, lovely.
But they're still playing for second and third place. And it's going to be a good one. It's got PA Gods versus Promethean. It's got Team Burning versus Voice of the War.
Do you guys do you have a link for that?
Yeah, I'll put it in the Twitch chat.
Awesome, thank you. All right. You guys
I
have any
think
last
this should be
goodbyes?
part of the news. Apparently, Mikey just got a server running in the real lobby listing without the bacon.
I'm sorry. What?
If you don't know the bacon thing, you needed to add bacon to get the servers to show up because PA Stats would detect it.
Thanks,
all the
bacon.
custom servers, and apparently Mikey H has managed to get one that doesn't require that. I guess he's some sort of wizard.
Is it wizardry?
Yeah, he is some sort of magician, Mikey. Like the better server browser mod and optimize user tag map. I think is the other one. That's
And
really good.
PALobby.com is a really nice one.
Yeah, that's really
Yes,
good too.
PA Lobby. Very nice. I believe actually that's what we used yesterday, and it was, I have all the videos uploaded to my channel. We did the, was it 20 or 30 man free for all in teams yesterday?
We did 18 versus 18.
Because I know we did like a total of 4 large scale maps. Because I know there was I think it was a 32 player free for all. Then it went to 18 versus 18, and then it was Realm versus the World.
The 18 versus 18 was the Realm versus the World,
Oh, okay.
which we won. Yay!
Yeah, that was very good. And of course, guys, if you want to be part of that, you guys need to have PA Stats so you can get that. And then I don't know, are we allowed to put the Realm TeamSpeak? Because I know they're going to need that, at least to kind of for communication.
I think if they just hang around in the PA Stats chat that PA Stats adds to the game, it will be mentioned there when those games go up.
Okay, and I believe that's every Friday, 2300 UTC, correct?
It's supposed to be 2300 UTC, I think. It wasn't.
Yeah, then 2
last
hours
time.
later.
I think having a time would be too generous, and people should just kind of guess and show up whenever.
Well, we're supposed
Friday?
to quote unquote around 23 UTC, but we started around 1:32 UTC.
I'm hoping it will start earlier next time because I didn't get to sleep until 4 a.m.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah, I know that you guys over in Europe must have had a really fun time staying up so late.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see everybody finally trained on using UTC without even thinking about it. It's the official time zone of Planetary Annihilation.
Yeah, apparently putting EST last time was really confusing, so I'm trying to get used to UTC now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just everybody kind of got used to it, I think, is the main thing. And, it gets really confusing because time zones just switch so fast.
Right.
One thing we didn't mention about the PTE was the performance improvements, and Sorian was determined that the games we played on Friday would have crashed and burned on the stable build, but the server performance improvements really helped with that in the PTE. And
Shout
people
out
should play
Sorian
more.
for making it happen.
Yeah, people should play more big games in the PTE, like 5v5 and 10-player free for alls and stuff, to test the servers out and kind of examine the newer, better
So they can
performance.
check the logs and stuff. I know Gandalf was mentioning that yesterday.
Yeah. Apparently, like physics and navigation and stuff is all sorts of improvements. Very nice.
Right. Because I think they were mentioning how yesterday they were checking the cable connections or the fiber optics, and they were just melting with having so many people trying to play.
Yeah, it was like 50 megabytes or something, like being
Wow.
used by the server.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Do
was
we have the
lagging in the
numbers,
18 versus 18, and I have amazing internet, but I was streaming at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I think we had quite a few streamers during that time. I know.
Yeah, there's a few videos being posted in the forums.
Yeah. I also yeah.
Yeah.
So we're seeing
Oh, I
in the
streamed that,
Twitch
some of
chat that Sorian and WP Marshall are going to start streaming PTE games tomorrow starting around 1700 UTC.
Well, there you go. 1700 UTC, Sorian and Marshall.
Yeah, he said on the Uber Twitch channel.
Oh, okay. There
So
we
that
go.
should actually get a different group of people that have subscribed to that a long time ago. They haven't used the Uber Twitch channel in a long time.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know Uber had a Twitch channel. I know they.
Yeah, they used to do live streams a lot.
The more you know. We good? Can I actually? Anybody want to add anything?
That's all I got.
All right. Stuart, any last shoutouts?
We could move on to doing some mods now.
Do we have mods?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know that the PA stats was pushed. I know Rainbow Trails.
So PA Stats now has a global chat.
Mm-hmm.
So all you need to get in on it is just have PA Stats enabled. Launch your game, and bam, you can now use a global chat. It's amazing. So just download it, use it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so also, Killer Cube Juice just put out a mod yesterday called Naval Trails. That's a UI mod, and
Yes.
it makes the UI look less boring.
Is there a forum post so I can get pictures?
Naval look less boring by
There
having
is, and the pictures are amazing.
coming off of them.
Can I get them, please?
Just linked it into chat.
Oh, okay, thank you. Click.
Yeah, they're amazing. The Naval
Oh, look
Trails
at
are
that.
really good.
That's so colorful.
It looks like there are still some issues with it, with some of the naval trails kind of going up out of the water, especially from the subs.
Mhm.
But this is a really nice start. I never thought that a modder would be able to get this kind of polish on the game.
Right, I
And
know he's
then-
been working with the Rainbow Trails and the Team Color Trails, and I actually always use those when I'm streaming because they're just so nice and colorful. But
Yeah, this
these
just-
look really good.
This fits into PA's art style really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure most people know this, however, the Yuri Bros, Gandalf, Pizzoki, and Dom, all from the clan Team Burning, BRN, those three being the creators of Gooma Gooma Slide, put out a mod today called Rainbow Racers, where it's just car racing in Planetary Annihilation. And it's pretty cool, pretty
It's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
You never really would have thought that you'd get a racing game in Planetary
Out of
Annihilation. but
yeah. Well, hopefully, eventually, the modders can get so crazy as to actually having like mini mod games, like tower defense games, or something crazy like that, because that'd be really cool to see. But no, it's just me being weird.
But the racing one is like a total conversion. It means you do racing, and it's cool. I think they could add more stuff to that, like power ups, possibly.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I want to be able to shoot green and red turtles at other players.
Yeah.
The banana peel.
Yeah.
Banana peel. Other mods.
So I put out a bounce
Robot
mod.
voice.
Oh,
You're good.
no, this is actually a balance mod this time, guys. It's not a mod that completely reworks the game disguised as a balance mod. It's actually a balance mod this time. So,
I'd say the game's pretty
I was
balanced
just-
already.
when was the last time you saw skitters used?
Pretty
not
often.
I was using them in my head today, but the factory was never set to spitters.
I mean, they were there. Just we just didn't happen to notice them. I mean, he was using them the whole time. That's all.
Yeah, I really wanted to use them with docks, but I just couldn't do it.
I mean, if you're suggesting that skitters suddenly have lasers strapped to them and they're gonna start skidding around the place and shooting at my metal extractors, I mean, it's even worse for me as a tank person, because then now I've got to deal with a bunch of skitters flying around instead of docks, and that's even worse.
The skitter's speed was nerfed. So now they're slightly slower than docks, and docks kill them. However, the skitter's weapon shoots through walls.
So it's a
we
sniper
saw-
bot. It's a tier 1 sniper bot, which can hit and run between walls.
It has less range than ants, slightly more range than docks. So, we've still got about half an hour of the stream left, don't we? So, well over half an hour, in fact.
Do
So,
we? I mean, we just kind of go until we've gotten everything taken care of.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
do we
think.
just want to hop into a 4-player free-for-all right now?
Yeah.
do we? I mean, do you guys have the time for this? Like, I don't know. I just usually have you guys until you're good. But I mean, if we can.
So I'm not really interested in it. Sorry, I mostly like stay away from balance mods personally, but
I usually just don't use balance mods.
I also don't have any interest in the free for alls.
I could, provided it's like relatively small and isn't gonna be an hour-long free-for-all.
No, it isn't.
I don't think we can, Stuart. I don't think we have the time. From what it sounds like, I don't think we'll be able to. I mean, you can probably host a couple once we're done streaming here, and then the viewers can obviously join you, and you can explain the entire process to them. That might be an equal trade, yeah.
Sure.
All right. What else?
I need to update Boombot Wars. Like, if anyone uses the new commanders, it just won't work.
What happens is just a giant, like, non-textured picture saying, "Yeah,
No,
we don't know
yeah,
what this is."
It's just they can't build anything.
Yeah, they just can't build.
Oh, it's just no big deal. It's just.
Yeah, so the game's fine. They just can't build anything.
Okay.
I need to figure out more crazy stuff to add to that. Perhaps rainbows.
Can we see just flying boombots instead of planes? Just
I
little.
made a model. I made a flying Boombot model. I might.
I want to see this.
It isn't textured.
Oh.
So if anybody feels like texturing it, anybody who's watching,
That sounds right. That's even better. Just seeing this giant question mark flying across my screen. I mean, it's
no,
better.
it's just grey. Air boom. Where is it? I want to do more crazy things with the giant boombots because they're cool, but I feel like they could be even crazier somehow. Where am I linking this? I'm gonna link it everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did make that a while ago.
Oh my god, that thing's so adorable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it worked. I got it in game. I got it so that when it attacks the thing on the ground, it would like fly along, and then it would like start falling at the sky and spinning like as it falls, and land and
That's
stuff.
so
It's
scary.
It was really cool, but I don't really have guns in Boombot Wars, so you can't shoot it down. So it's way OP. Can't be counted still.
Anti-air boombot launchers.
Yeah. I don't want to have guns. I just want more boombots. And having boombots that jump into the sky doesn't work very well because they have random spread and they'll just miss. And
Yeah. Okay.
perhaps I'll figure out some way of doing it eventually. But I think the texture is half the reason I haven't done it because texturing is harder than I expected.
Yeah, it's. Yeah. Well, actually, that was one of the things I was kind of hoping to see. This is just. I was thinking about this when me and a couple friends were trying to just make a. Of course, we're gonna do a plug for the Champ Challenge on my stream every Friday. You know, right before the 20-man. You know, the important things. We were trying to create a custom planet, and I noticed, what if we actually had like people actually able to add images or logos to the planets itself, the surface, because then we could actually have like official planetary
Like in
annihilation.
StarCraft.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like how they'll have the different like team logos right below the spawning base. I think that'd be kind of interesting to see. We don't talk about
well,
StarCraft in here.
I think we need some sponsors in PA.
We need
I would
some
like
meat
to be
sponsors
sponsored
first.
by Domino's Pizza and
Papa John's,
whatever company makes hula hoops.
Budweiser,
Jägermeister.
Jägermeister. That's Jägermeister. And then,
Yeah,
of course, the Littlest Pet Shop or something really nice.
Yeah, Soren, I have looked into that a bit, but I haven't managed to get it working yet. I kind of really want to try that, but again, it's a problem with not being able to have a unit that shoots down the bombers because there are no guns in Bimbo Wars. But I don't know. Perhaps I could get the T1 flamethrower defense towers to shoot down air stuff. I don't know.
All right, are there any other mods?
It's not as simple as combining the two textures, I don't think.
Stuart?
Talking to people.
I can't texture.
Sorry? Alright, other than that, you guys have any quick shoutouts?
Not too much besides, be sure to keep up with Exodus Esports.
Okay. Of course, I'm always streaming usually. I don't even know UTC, so I know I'm usually streaming around 1600 Eastern Standard Time for you guys that might actually want to stream. Then Custard, I know you stream. I don't know when you do though.
I stream at really weird times. That's all I can say. I can't even give a day or a time or anything.
Mhm.
But if you follow my stream, you'll be notified of when I do. And I usually stream 1v1s I'm doing with people. I actually lost a few on stream recently, which was embarrassing. Or the crazy
get
big
better,
games.
kid.
Yeah, I don't stream often because I have Comcast and they hate me.
Okay.
But when I do, it's usually just I ambush Twitch with it. I don't tell people.
Alright. Stuart, any last shoutouts?
Not that I can think of.
Alright, well then, of course,
Leave
I'm
it
Ghost.
about.
This is Stuart, Burnt Custard, Captain Conundrum. Hope we'll see you guys all in 2 weeks. We are a bi-weekly stream, so we won't be streaming next week, but we will be the week after, and hopefully we won't have another rescheduling issue. And of course, I hope you guys have a good day, good afternoon, good night. I'll see you all guys later. Bye-bye. And we need to get these 2 webcams eventually. So, see you guys later. Bye-bye.
See ya.
And there we go. Thanks, guys.
It's okay.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it was a lot less awkward than last time.
I think it just takes time to get used to it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do have some